Hello friends, welcome to the Kabil Bano program on Microsoft Word. Hope you are doing fine. In the last video, which was lesson 2, how to use the insert feature, we looked at several insert features. Let's look at let's basically look at the recap. So basically we looked at how to insert a cover page, how to insert a blank page, how to insert a page break. And you must clearly also remember that we looked at all the table features. So we also said how to insert a table, and we also looked at different formatting features of the table, how to insert rows, how to insert columns, how to change the font size, how to change the font color, and all other things in a Microsoft Word. So we are basically done with table in the last course. So this is lesson 2.1. This is an extension of the earlier lesson 2, and basically we would be looking at a few more important features of Microsoft Word in this particular course. Now let's say, first of all, you would really be interested in using different shapes. Now, for example, there is this sentence here. You can see this sentence here that I'm currently highlighting. Now, this sentence, for example, let me say that I need to draw a box around this sentence. I need to draw a box. So how will I do that? I'll go to shapes and I will select any shape. For example, if I have to use a rectangle, I will click on rectangle. Then there is this feature which will be coming, and wherever I need to draw the box, I will just draw the box here. Right? So this is how I have drawn the box. Now, as soon as finish drawing the box, a lot of features will come up automatically in format. So what you can do is you can just click on any of these things and it will change automatically. You can change the color of this particular rectangle by using shape fill. Right? For example, let's say I want to change the color to light blue. You can also change the outline, color of the outline. For example, the boundaries. For example, the boundary of this is currently with blue color. You can see here shape outline. So you can either have no outline wherein you see there is no boundary, or what you can do is you can clearly have one boundary outline. You can also have different shape effects. For example, you can have presets, which are basically different stylish forms. You can have shadow of this particular thing. For example, let's look at this. So you can clearly see some shadows coming here, right? Then you can have reflections. All these are basically different ways of beautifying this particular shape. Now the important thing is, you remember what I said earlier. I said I wanted to put a box around that sentence, but I cannot see the sentence. So what you need to do is you need to right click on this first. First of all, select this box, right click it, and then click on send to back and send back. Send to back. When you click on that, it will go. There's another option which is send behind text. When you click on send behind text, what will happen is this box will be there behind the text and you can see the text here. So this is looking like a very, very beautiful sentence which has been there and which has been made inside a box. So this is how you can insert shapes. Now, when you go to insert again, what you can do is you can insert other shapes as well. For example, let's say if I need to point an arrow. So what I can do is I can click on the arrow and then I can draw the arrow, right? So all this is possible in Microsoft Word. So this is a fantastic. For example, this is not aligned properly. So what you need to do is you need to just right click. You need to drag this properly. Right? And what you can do is you can change the color of this line. For example, if you want, you can change this to black color. If you want, you can change the width as well. So all these are possible things. For example, now let's say this is very, very interesting. let's say if you want, this is the arrow type. Now if you want to look at this begin arrow type, this shows the different types of arrows which are there. So if you want the arrow to start with a dot, it will start with a dot, right? See this how interesting this looks, right? If you want to end the arrow with not a typical arrow, but let's say arrow, so you can just click on diamond and it will be showing a diamond. So this is how it will look like, right? And you can change the positions as well, right? So this is how you insert. Similarly, you can insert shapes for other. You can insert other shapes as well through this particular feature. So there are shapes which are there. For example, this is the text box that you can insert. This is a plain line. This is an arrow, rectangle, circle, oval, triangle. This is a zigzag line, connector, and these are arrows. So right arrow and down arrow, zigzag lines, curves. So you can basically insert any shape which you want. Basically, it would depend on the creativity of the user. If you are very creative, what you can do is you can insert any feature you want and you can use it accordingly. You can also insert equation shapes. For example, if you want to insert, let's say, plus, minus, or any such things, that is also possible. Now, many engineers would be using, let's say, flowchart symbols in their algorithms. So you can also use that. You can also use callouts. Callouts are typically for, you must have seen cartoons, right? In cartoons, what happens? There are pictures and there are things like this, and you can basically write something there. So everything is possible in Microsoft Word, and you can change the orientation as well. So basically, you can change the rotation. So this is also possible, right? See, this is also possible. You can just click on this yellow point, and then drag this to at any point. So if there is a cartoon, for example, this picture is the cartoon. Just assume that this is the cartoon, and this cartoon is saying something. So what you can do is you can put this particular shape, and you can move this yellow point to this particular shape, to this particular position. So this will be coming as a call out, right? So I hope this is clear. This is very interesting. So design under insert, you can have already a lot of shapes which you can use for benefit. So this is very good. Okay. So let's just delete this for the moment now. Let's just keep it there. Okay, fine. Let's just keep it there. We will move to, let's say, this section here. You remember how do we insert a page break? Just click on page break here. So basically you'll be taken to the next page, right? Okay, fine. Good. So we will look at some other features. Now let's say pictures. If you want to insert a picture, as soon as you hover on pictures, it will ask you insert pictures from your computer or other computers. So once you click on that, you will be basically driven to your folders. Now you can go onto your folder and you can click on any picture that you have. For example, I don't have currently any pictures here. So what you can do is you can click on any picture, and you can insert this picture here. Let me just try and find out if I have any pictures here. Must be having some pictures. Yes, so let me just put in my picture. I think I have my picture in here. Yes, so this is me. So you can clearly see my picture. I've inserted my picture in here, right? We can shorten this as well. We can reduce the size of the picture as well by doing this. So all this is possible, and when you insert a picture, then definitely a lot of other tools automatically come up. For example, I can put in a frame. I can put different frames. So all this is possible, right? You can color the picture as well. You can you can have a border for the picture as well. See, you can see the border here. So there are a whole range of things that you can do. So you can change the color as well by saying this. So just look at this. The color will be changing completely. See, so you can do a whole range of activities. For the moment, I'm removing the background. How this looks like. So you can do a whole range of things from pictures as well. Now just click on online pictures. Now online pictures, for example, there is a storage space online. For example, Google Docs, or let's say Dropbox, or let's say from Google Images. So what you can do is you can click on online pictures, and there will be different options available in front of you. So you can either search on Bing. So Bing is the thing here. So let's say we want to search, let's say beauty. It will search for beauty. See, there are different pictures which will be coming up. You can just click on any of these pictures and it will get inserted. Right? So this is how it can be inserted from online as well, right? So we have seen this feature about pictures as well. Now I am going to tell you something which is really, really important, and I'm going to tell you about two important things. The first thing is how to insert charts, and the second thing, which is really, really important, is how to insert smart arts. Now these two are very, very important. Even if you, let's say, do not know many other features of Microsoft Word, but if you know how to insert a table, if you know how to insert a chart, and how to insert a smart art, these three, then I think you have understood, let's say, 70% of the usage of Microsoft Word in normal everyday life. I mean, I'm not talking about very, very advanced features of Microsoft Word, but if you know these three things properly, then you can work with 70% of the situations in your daily life or even in your professional life, because most of the times you would be using only these three features extensively. Okay, so let's look at how to insert a smart art. Now, smart art is typically a particular shape or a collection of shapes. As soon as you click on smart art, you will see all these options: all, list, process, hierarchy, relationship, matrix, picture. Okay, so let's click on list. Let's just look at one example. Now let's say you have 4 or 5 things that you want to put down. For example, okay, now let me just introduce this properly. Now let's say there is a table of content. Right? Now the first thing that you want to write is introduction. Essentials of thermodynamics. First law, second law, third law. Right? Applications, limitations. So let's say that topics. Now this is one way of presentation. Basically, a smart art is a very, very artistic way of representing some sentences or some bullet points or even some points. Now let's say you can either present it simply like this, or what you can do is you can just click on bullets. So you can do that, or you can click on numbers. You can do that. But what alternatively you can do is you can click on smart art as well. So let's say list. So this is a list, right? So you can click on any of these lists, right? So this will be represented like this. So what you can do is introduction. Just click enter here. Just move your cursor here and just move your cursor here, and introduction, essentials of thermodynamics, then first law, second law, third law. See, all these are possible, right? Applications, limitations, conclusion. So what you've done is essentially you have entered a smart art. So this looks very, very beautiful. Now you can, since this is looking, the font size is looking too small, what you can do is you can change the font size. Now this is looking fantastic, right? This is looking very, very neat. This is looking very, very good, right? Now what you can also do is, as soon as you click on this, when you go to format, when you go to design, then you would also have a list of other smart arts. For example, you can choose any smart arts that you want. For example, you can also do this. You can also select this smart art, wherein you would need to change something here. So basically, what you would need to do is you need to change the size of this particular smart art. So this is also possible, right? Then you can select things like this, smart arts like this, wherein you would be having all the topics there, plus you could insert a picture and then you could write something here. Plus you could have something like this as well, wherein this is also a very, very fantastic feature, wherein what how this will be positioned is you can insert a picture of introduction, you can insert a picture. So basically this will be represented as a very, very beautiful thing. So how you will insert a picture, just click on this from a file, let's say Sandeep. You can see this. So this is how you insert a picture. So this looks very, very neat. This looks very, very nice. And you can change the colors as well. So for example, if you want to change the color, just select this and you can change the colors here. Right? So this looks really, really nice. Okay. So let's say if you want to change the smart art, you can change anything. For example, if you want something like this, even this is possible. If you want something like this is also possible. This one is also possible. So this is another fantastic thing which I normally use in all my Microsoft Word documents. So even this is fantastic, right? So you can clearly see that this is a beautiful representation. There's picture as well, and you can see introduction as well, right? So this is how you can use smart art. So for example, let me just delete this for the moment. Let's look at another smart art. Let's say processes. Now, for example, the first, there are 3 steps in the process. Just assume that, okay? First step, second step, and third step. So basically, how you can represent that is using through a process smart art. How you can do that is just click on that. Let's say first step. Then we have the second step. And then we have the third step. So this is also possible, right? This looks very, very neat and clean. Very, very neat and clean. So it clearly shows that this is the first step, this is the second step, this is the third step because of the arrow. And this flows in this particular direction. Now when you go back to the smart art again, how you can go back to the list of smart art again? By either double clicking on this particular smart art, or by simply going on to design, right? You can change the colors as well if you want. Okay. Now let's see if you want to have something like this. So even this is possible. Even this is possible. This is also fantastic. Wherein from the first step, let's say from the first step you are moving on to the second step. From the second step you are moving on to the third step, and you can insert any text in here, right? You can insert any text, right? This is possible. Even this is possible. This we have already used this. Even this is possible, right? So you can use a variety of smart arts. Okay, let's look at some others very, very good smart arts. So let's say relationship. If something happens, then the other thing will happen. Or what is the relation? For example, let's look at this basic Venn diagram. See, if you want to show a certain relationship between 3 or 4 variables, this is possible, right? So you can say, let's say apples, oranges, mangoes, and the people who eat all the 3 would be included here. Let's say people who eat apples and mangoes would be represented in this particular section. Mangoes and oranges will be represented here, and apples and oranges will be represented here. And there is clearly a section here which will be represented by all the 3. Now you can change to other things as well. For example, you can change the format to this. You can change the format to this particular thing as well, wherein you would need another thing. So basically, whatever you want, you can change it. For example, you can change it like this as well. So representation is an art. How you want to represent things is an art. So this is a creativity. This is your creativity. So you can change anything that you want. So this is the smart art. Now let's say something which is really, really interesting again. So a pyramid structure. What you can do is you can insert a pyramid as well. For example, let's say from the base, let's say you have let's say children, then you would be having adults, older people, right? So if you want to represent something like that, this is possible. If you double click on that, you will be having different colors. You can change the colors, you can change the font size by going on home and clicking on, let's say, 20. So even as possible, you can change how this particular thing will look like. You can change it. If you want to insert it, you can just click on that. So basically what I'm trying to say is that smart art is really useful for beautiful representation of the facts, right? So this is right. So let's close this session for the moment right here, because when we come back to lesson 2.2, how to use insert feature, we would be explaining the most important function, which is charts, how to insert charts. So we'll look at that. Okay. So for this moment, hope you have learned about pictures, online pictures, shapes, and smart art. And we will look at how to use the chart function in the next video, which is lesson 2.2. Okay. So thank you so much for listening to this particular video. See you next time. Thank you.